All right, so welcome back for another deep dive. And today,
Excited to be here.
we're diving into the world of
Yeah.
African wild dogs, which I think most people know as painted wolves.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
beautiful
Yeah,
creature.
I had no idea how fascinating these animals were until I started kind of digging into the research for this.
They
Um,
are.
we've got a really, really interesting essay here, packed with information about these guys. And just to give you a little taste of what we're going to be talking about, like their hunting techniques are just absolutely incredible.
Incredible.
Like, did you know their hunting success rate is higher than a lion's?
It is remarkable, yeah.
I had no idea.
Up to 80%,
Yeah.
which is just phenomenal.
Lions are like, what, 25%?
Yeah, I think it's around there.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we're going to be talking about their hunting, their pack life, the threats they're facing, and all sorts of other really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a wide range of really fascinating elements to these animals.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't we start off with something that really caught my eye when I was reading through this essay. They're called painted wolves. And the essay mentions that each dog has a unique coat pattern.
They do.
It's almost like a fingerprint.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Well, it's really fascinating because imagine you're a researcher and you're trying to track these animals across these vast landscapes.
Right.
It would be incredibly difficult if you couldn't tell them apart.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So each individual has these beautiful, kind of like a tapestry, of black, brown, and yellow patches, and it's unique to every single dog.
That's so cool.
So researchers can identify individuals, track their movements, understand social interactions, and it really gives them a window into their world.
Yeah, so it's not just aesthetically pleasing, it's actually like a really useful tool.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. It's nature's own identification system.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the nickname Painted Wolves, it's pretty obvious where that comes from.
It's very fitting.
Yeah. But they're more than just good looks.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. These guys, they have some serious skills when it comes to their pack life.
They do?
Like, what's their social structure like?
Well, one of the things that's really fascinating about African wild dogs is they have a very complex social structure. So you've got your alpha pair, the dominant male and female who are the primary breeders.
Right.
But unlike some other pack animals, there's this incredible sense of shared responsibility when it comes to raising pups. The entire pack participates in caring for the young.
Wow. So it's like a real community effort.
It really is.
That's amazing. So I guess that contributes to like their success as hunters as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Because they need to be really coordinated
Yeah, it does.
and work together
It does.
to bring down prey.
Because they are what we call endurance hunters.
Okay.
They will chase their prey over long distances
Wow.
until it's exhausted.
Like, how long are we talking here?
Yeah. I mean, it can vary, but they've been known to pursue prey for, several kilometers.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they're also very strategic. They're not necessarily targeting the biggest and strongest in the herd. They often go for weaker individuals like young impala or older kudu.
Interesting.
And this targeted approach, along with their relentless pursuit, really contributes to that 80% hunting success rate.
I mean, it's like they've got it down to a science.
They really do. It's fascinating.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier that they communicate during the hunts.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how does that work?
It's an incredible symphony of barks, chirps, whistles, and body language. And some researchers even believe that those unique coat patterns that we talked about might even help them signal their intentions during a chase.
Oh, wow.
If they're going left or right, maybe there are certain patterns that help them to communicate more effectively.
That's fascinating. So they're like masters of coordination
They are.
and communication.
Uh,
But unfortunately, the essay doesn't just talk about, the good stuff. There's some pretty serious threats that these guys are facing.
They are facing a number of threats, sadly.
Yeah. Like, can you talk about some of those?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest ones is habitat loss. They need large areas of open land to hunt effectively.
Right.
But as human populations grow and agricultural lands expand, wild dog territories are becoming increasingly fragmented.
Right.
So imagine if your home was constantly being shrunk and divided. It makes it harder to find food,
Yeah.
maintain those vital social bonds.
Yeah. That's a huge problem.
It is.
And I think the essay also mentioned conflict with humans
It does.
and diseases.
Yeah.
Like rabies.
Unfortunately, those are also major threats. Sometimes wild dogs are seen as a threat to livestock,
Okay.
and this can lead to retaliatory killings by farmers
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then you've got diseases like canine distemper and rabies, which can just wipe out entire packs.
Yeah, I mean, that's similar to what we
It's
vaccinate our
like,
dogs for, right?
yeah,
So I can only imagine how quickly it would spread
it's incredibly devastating.
in a pack environment.
It is.
Yeah. And all of this has led to, their population dwindling down to
Exactly.
fewer than 6,000 individuals,
It's a critically endangered species.
which is just heartbreaking.
It is.
But the essay did mention that there are conservation efforts in place.
There are.
So is there hope for these animals?
Absolutely. There's always hope. And conservationists around the world are working tirelessly to protect them.
Okay.
So you've got habitat restoration projects, which are creating safe havens for wild dogs.
Okay.
There are community-based programs that are working to educate people about the ecological importance of wild dogs
Okay.
and promote coexistence. There are even programs that will compensate farmers for livestock lost to wild dogs.
Okay.
So that reduces that incentive for retaliatory killings.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what about the disease threat?
So vaccination campaigns are also underway, targeting rabies and other diseases. And this is really crucial for preventing those devastating outbreaks.
Yeah, that's great news. I mean, it's amazing to know that there are people out there
It is.
fighting for these animals.
Yeah.
It really does make you think about, what the future holds for these painted wolves. I mean, will these conservation efforts be enough? Or are there other things that we can do to ensure their survival?
Yeah, that's a big question.
It is a big question, and it's one that I think we all need to be thinking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it for this deep dive, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Hop into the comments.
Yeah. What are some of the innovative approaches we could be exploring?
Yeah, how can we all help these animals survive?
Yeah, what can we do?
But until next time, stay curious, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Expert.